Hello everyone, and welcome. Today, I'm going to give you all what I wish I had about 3 years ago when I first started playing Whatever Floats Your Boat, and that is a beginner guide to the game. Today, we'll be going over 4 main areas that beginners are going to need to know in order to get good at the game. Those 4 areas are the user interface, the map, building, and combat. So, with all of that, let's start with the first section of this video, the user interface. Now, WFYB's user interface is pretty simple. When you first join the game, it'll look a lot like this. You'll be at the map, and you'll have various points to choose from. All you have to do is click on one of those points, and then double-click it again, or you can simply press play, like so. Now, once you've done that, you're going to be introduced to the user interface, which is made up of these tabs on the bottom corner of your screen, as well as the leaderboard on the right, as well as the chat on the left, which in WFYB can be scaled as you see fit, fill the whole screen, or just make it very, very small, if I can manage. There we go. Now, aside from the leaderboard and chat, which I'm sure you're all very familiar with, the user interface is again consisted of the Build tab, the Map tab, the Store, the Team, Teleport, Stats, and Settings. Now, you can explore the settings and the stats and teleport pretty easily, as well as the Store, because they're very, very simple tabs. But when it comes to Team, Map, and Build, well, that's where I'm going to come in to give you some more information on each one. So, before we move on to the next section, let's just take a look at Team. It's very, very simple. All you have to do is tap or click, and you'll see this very simple list, and it'll have all the teams that are currently formed. You can see Secure Self-Possession, blah, 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 blah. If you want to join a team, simply click Request to Join, and if you don't want to join, simply click Cancel Join Request. If you want to make your own team, click Form New Team, and you can rename it, so like Egg Team or something, and you can leave that team, which will automatically delete it if you're the last one in. Now, moving on to the second part of this video, the map. This is really important, especially if your ship is like destroyed and you're spawning in a new one and you need to teleport away or something like that. So all you have to do to access the map is either click here or press the letter M on your keyboard. Very simple. Press M, and just like I showed you earlier, you can either select on map or on the boat to teleport to any of various points. Now, if you have multiple boats in the game, when you go to map, you'll be able to choose between one of those 2 or 5 boats, depending on how many you have, or on your team, because it does let you spawn to your team's boats. So just pretend that this is my boat and this is my teammate's boat. So I want to spawn over there. There we go. Now I'm on their boat. But maybe I want to spawn, let's say, somewhere far away on the map. Very, very easy to do. The map makes it super easy to teleport instantly wherever you want to go. Now, that's enough with the map. Let's talk about how to build. Now, in my opinion, I think that building in WFYB is very, very simple, but there are still some things that you should know as a beginner, so let's quickly take a look. Starting, of course, with what I'm doing right here, I'm just making a platform. And to do that, all I've done is I've pressed the letter E on my keyboard, which brings me up to the build catalog, or you can press click here, and then click place, which does the same thing. Now, when you start building, you're going to notice that you don't have as many items as I have here. Each item, from this harpoon turret and old cannon to this balloon and candy corn thing, these are all referred to in the game as props. So that's a prop, and this is a prop, and so on and so forth. Everything is called a prop. Now, when you begin the game, you'll only have a couple of these initial props. You'll have the cabinet, the pallet, and the wooden crate, but you won't have any of these spice woods, birch woods, or red cedar things, which you'll unlock as you progress through the game and level up. Now, of course, I'll do a separate video on how to level up, but for now, just refer to the WFYB wiki for more information on extra props that you don't have unlocked yet. Now, to place down a prop, simply again press B and then click here, or just press the letter E on your keyboard, and you can click on a prop and place it. Now, When you place a prop, all you have to do to actually place it is just left click. But there are a bunch of useful commands at the top of your screen that will allow you to manipulate that prop. For example, I place this ice shield and I'm like, you know what? I didn't want to do that. Press the letter Z on your keyboard and it goes away. And of course, there are these very other controls. For example, if I want to be able to place my ice sheets with a bit more precision, press the control key, and now it's a bit more precise, and you can do that up to 4 times for very precise placement. Next, of course, to sell these props, because I don't want these all over my platform, I'm going to press the letter X or go to build and click here. Oops, sorry. Build and click here, sell props, and I'm just going to click on these. Now, back to placing something down with these controls, you also have the letter Y, T, and R. When you press these letters on your keyboard, they rotate things in a specific way. R is kind of side to side, T is also kind of side to side, it kind of depends, and then Y is vertical rotation. Now, my best information I can give you about these rotating controls is that they're very tough to kind of understand, so just mess around with placing stuff down, because they're kind of always changing what exactly they do. Anyways, of course, place down to place it, and that's all we've got for that. So moving away from building, let's talk about combat. Now, combat on WFYB is very, very, very simple. There's not a lot to it, but basically, you have 2 categories of weapons when you're doing combat. You have your sword, and you have everything else. Now, your sword is your melee weapon, and it's pretty simple, and I recommend using shift lock for this, but basically, shift lock, slash your sword into your opponent, and hope for the best. Now, if you want to be a little more elevated with your sword combat, make sure to know that you can use shift lock and then attack your opponent from the side. So let's say this guy and I right here are fighting. Well, if I'm right here and I'm slashing my sword at him, he's gonna get damaged, but so am I, so we'll both end up dying. But if I'm like this and he's facing forward and I'm doing my sword, he's the one who's going to die. So make sure to try to stay away from your opponent's sword, but also try to keep your sword in your opponent to deal maximum damage. Now, there are guns and cannons and other ranged weapons in WFYB, and those are very, very simple. Make sure not to be in shift lock for those because it can mess things up. But basically, equip that weapon and then tap or click wherever you want to shoot. So let's say I have a gun on my hand and I want to shoot that guy over there. I just hover my mouse over him, click, click, and he's dead. Anyways, we've now discussed the user interface, the map, and building, and combat in WFYB, so if you have any questions about the game, or you just want to know something, or talk to me about the game, leave something down in the comments below, and I'll do my very best to respond. But with that, it is now time to end. As always, don't forget to use code SHOTUS at RealDragonShop.com for 5% off of your order, and have a great day. Bye-bye.